Well, hello, everybody. How are we doing? Welcome. It's been a little while since streams, hasn't it? Sorry about that. Life busy and whatnot. I have missed it, though. Hope you're all doing well. Yeah, when things get, like, very busy for me, streaming is kind of one of the first things that I decide, like, okay, that needs to stop for a little bit while I take care of whatever's got me busy. But I have missed it, so I thought a little short stream might be fun, because I need to play a little Banjo-Kazooie. Need to get a little reacquainted. Dan and I are thinking of recording a thing at some point in the future. And that'll go a lot better for me if I remember anything in Banjo-Kazooie and where anything is. Am I very quiet right now? Huh. I don't think I'm quiet. A smidge quiet. Weird. Yeah, it says my volume output is pretty good here, so I'm guessing that might be something on y'all's end. Sorry about that, though. Hopefully it's resolvable. But yeah, welcome. I should thank some of these many folks who are resubscribing here before I fall just direly behind. Thank you for the 12 months, King Carnage. Almost a year for you indeed. I know, we've been going well over a year at this point. 15 months, really? That can't be right. I think it is, though. Bonkers. Thanks for the 11 months, Kitten Tails. You forgot you were subscribed? That's okay. It'll happen. I forget most things I'm subscribed to. Thanks for the 15 months, Iskar Jarok. And also Rubik Darkwill. And Absolune. Going through a very rough patch of life stuff. Playframe content's been one of the most helpful things in my life recently. I'm very happy for that. Well, not the rough patch, obviously. The other thing. The part where we're helpful with that. And I'm there with you. It's, well, not... I don't imagine that my rough life stuff equates to what your rough patch of life stuff is. But it's been hectic the last month or so for me. Which is partly why I've also just not been streaming as much. Because things been busy. And I'm worn out. But, my sympathies, and I hope that things are less rough soon. And yeah, I am glad that Playframe's been helping in the meantime. I'm always very happy to hear whenever we, whenever the thing that we make, the silly thing that we make, is helpful in a practical way for some people in their day-to-day. Very glad for that. And welcome. Thank you for the 12 months, Steloctahedron. And the 15 months, Zephylos. And the 15 months from Malcroth. And there's more of you already. 3 months from Frizzoderiz. I've missed you. The Littles and I have taken to watch your vids with Carrie and you both. Aw, that's very flattering as well. Well, thank you for subscribing and welcome. Sounds like volume is mostly okay for everyone. Good. Okay. What's going on tonight? Just chilling out, hanging out since we haven't streamed in ages. And playing a little Banjo-Kazooie so I can remember some basics in preparation for a thing that Dan and I have been thinking about recording. I don't think it's going to make an enormous difference me being prepared versus me being unprepared. But, I don't know. I'd rather at least remember basics. Can't be spoiling what it is, though. I think it'll be pretty fun. Anyway, there's more people to thank. Noru Hoodie, thank you for the 15 months. Banjo practice. And congrats on the new Frame Plus vid. Thank you. Yeah, bit of a bummer having let a stupid couple stupid math mistakes slip in that first version and having to re-upload the next day. But especially in that series, I put so much time and effort into every one of those videos that, like, if there's like a factual error somewhere in there, like those things are going to be up for a long time, and I put hundreds of hours of time into each dang one. I would rather be proud of the version that's up there. But that'll learn me to not double check my math and double check the script stuff that I'd written early on. It's my own fault. Still very proud of the video though. And excited to get to the next one. Well, the next Final Fantasy and the next New Frame Plus, which will be the year-end roundup, which I've been at work on, examining many a game. But thank you for the 15 months, Lord Trident. This is the correct time. all the nice times to you, Dan. Oh, thank you. Also, there's more of you. They keep rolling in. Thank you for the 15 months, Super Jaws. 15 months and counting. Thank you for the 15 months, Midnight Skyus. I'm trying to catch up, and yet I'm falling further behind. Thank you for the 8 months, Dark Dreamer. Dan is on indeed. I, too, am excited. Thank you for the 12 months. 12 whole months, Squishy. Thank you for 15 months, Bahabali. Hello, Dan, and hello, all. Happy day. I agree. I'm almost caught up. Thank you, Valbatross, for the 15 months. Hopefully this time next month I'll be able to say I finished my first animated short. Hey, nice. I have some demo footage that I'm really proud of, and New Frame Plus makes up a huge part of my, of my animation foundation. That is beyond flattering, and good for you. Congrats. That's, boy, a whole animated short is a lot of work. Like, a few animated shots is a lot of work. A whole short is, whew, goodness. I've never tried making a whole dang animated short before. My hat is off to you, and good luck with finishing it up. That's gonna feel satisfying to get to the end of. Some people are getting out of hand, I see. Thank you for the 15 months, Fearless Sun, and counting. Thank you for the 15 months, T.S. Terrapin. You shall not catch up to the sub notices, clearly. Thank you for the 14 months, Quasimoto. My kids are asking for more Dan time every day. Well, that's very sweet of them. And thank you, Bahabali, for those 10 gifted subs. That's very generous of you. Too kind, one might say. And thank you, Link of Origin, for 15 months. I think I've done it. Whew. Caught up. Wait, Mario Wonder is this year's holiday video? I'm sorry, I'm behind on Playframe videos. Yes, it sure is. And what a delight it's been. Real kind of Nintendo to release an incredible Mario game to celebrate the second year of us doing Mario games for holidays on Playframe. And there's some more of them, of course. Thank you for the 15 months, King of Doma. Someone's in the kitchen with Dinah strumming on the old banjo. Banjo, right, that's a thing that we need to do. I should start that pretty soon here. Thank you, Game Worm, also for 3 months. Thank you, Lord Trident, for the gifted sub. And Yen, welcome. You're most certainly not done, Mr. Floyd, clearly. You goofs. I've missed this. It's a good old time. Which song to practice first on banjo? That you clearly have and are going to play? If I could play banjo, what song to learn? I guess now that Outer Wilds exists, that's a lot easier to prepare an answer for. Like, if you're a game nerd, Outer Wilds seems like one of the best places to start as a banjo player. And then maybe Banjo-Kazooie after that. Hang on, I don't remember which episode, but did you know that the Watch Out for Fireballs and Bonfireside chat guys mentioned you in your animation videos in an episode? Oh, did they? Oh, that's very flattering. How kind of them. I like their stuff a great deal. I haven't gotten to that particular episode because I'm very behind on all my podcast feeds, but I was just listening to one of their Elden Ring Bonfireside chat episodes on the way home from work today. They're a delight. Ooh, spring returning. You just bought Hollow Knight and started playing because of Playframe. Enjoy. Just an endless fountain of fun, that one. Hopefully to be eventually followed by a sequel when it's ready. Playframe's legit the only YouTube channel I watch anymore. I'll accept partial blame for that in releasing so much stuff that it probably takes a non-zero amount of effort to keep up if you're trying to watch everything. Very flattering, though. I'm very glad to have provided some fun, light entertainment. Even if it does take up a lot of hours of the day. Sorry you're feeling sick, though. Spring returning. Enjoy the bug nights. And behind again. Thank you, Ratstronomer, for 15 months. Can't let Dan rest when he pops in the purple website. True. Thanks for the 11 months, Petite Bloom. And the 15 months, Choa Kid. Well, I saw Banjo-Kazooie and your playframe. And I saw Banjo-Kazooie, you're in playframe, and came. Yep. It's Banjo-Kazooie time. I should literally start the game now, before I forget and just keep chatting for ages. Let's start playing the Banjo-Kazooie. The time has come. It's been a little bit. But while we're booting up, thank you, New Brain, for the 15 months. And all the rest of you goofs for all the bits. And also the other KT for 12 months, and Domadet for 15 months. I'm just rewatching your playthrough with other Dan. Oh, I've finally gotten around to doing some more editing on best ofs, which we did I did like Banjo-Kazooie best of stuff was in videos ages ago, but I finally started getting to Banjo-Tooie in some of those highlights videos, and memories. I guess the benefit to being so darn far behind on playframe highlight reels is that now it's fun, nostalgic, and also I've forgotten all the funny things that happened, so it's getting to experience them again, kind of for the first time. Or second time, you know. The second first time. Anyway. N64 rather than Xbox Banjo? Yes, yes. For reasons I will not specify. But here, let's go ahead. My main goal here is mostly just to chill and have a good time, but I'm also aiming to kind of refamiliarize myself with where stuff is, where levels are, controls, moves. Also, it's just a fun video game. Playframe's one of my feel-good list of YouTube channels, along with Adam Savage's Tested and Girl with Dogs. That's good company. I'm flattered. I too sort of have like a chill YouTube playlist. That's kind of usually our like me and Carrie's like wind down in the evening before bed. Like put on 1 or 2 or 3, depending on their length. Just wind down. It's helpful. In preparation for a randomizer or speedrun or something, we are thinking of doing kind of a randomizer thing. Which is also why I kind of want to refamiliarize a little bit. What channels are on the Chill Watch playlist? Let's see. Binging with Babish is a pretty good chill one. Slow-mo guys, also very good. What else is on that playlist? June's Kitchen. If you've not seen June's Kitchen, it's basically a cooking channel with a chef who makes very chill videos and also has the best behaved cats in the world who just sit there and watch him cook. It's astonishing. And it's beautifully shot videos too. Why am I watching this whole thing? Yep. Yeah, June without the E. Quality channel. Carrie and I have also had some fun just like finding some like random like HoloLive clip compilations and stuff like that. That's sometimes a fun wind down evening thing. What else? I know there's a bunch of other creators that we have on the like sometimes if there's like a big video out from a channel, a creator who we both really like that's like appointment viewing, like a Noah Gervais, an H-Bomber guy, something of that sort, then that'll get bumped to the front of the list every single time. H-Bomber guy's recent video is very good. All of his videos are very good, and this is another one. Anything planned for a co-op with me and Jones? There's definite plan. There's always co-op plans with me and Jones. And we're still wrapping up Demon Souls, obviously, but after that, plenty of games. Oh, that's right. I haven't gotten onto my moves yet. Bottles, please. Have I heard of Lady Z? I think so. It's familiar. Oh, I haven't watched that latest People Make Games video yet. Welcome, Erica. I hope you're having a good evening as well. Maybe I should change the stream title. I feel like Banjo Practice is just raising questions that I'm not here to answer. It's Banjo. There we go. Fixed. Bottles, you're not done talking. Okay. What a good silly game. There's so many things that Dan and I have like talked about co-op playing at some point. I feel like we've easily forgotten a good many of the ones that we at one point thought of like, oh, that'd be fun. Would we ever play Magicka? Well, I could see us doing like a one-off of it or something. I don't know if we do like a full playthrough. But Magicka does seem like a fun co-op chaos thing. I think that's one of the ones that like has come up at one point or other. Yeah. Get punched. Why are vegetables so large in this setting? Yeah, Dan Jones has played a bunch of Lethal Company. He was singing its praises to me earlier. That's sort of like that kind of co-op horror game has kind of been like a sort of like a blind spot for me in that like I've not made time to play like what's the what's the name of the game? The one that people have been playing like nonstop for a year. Phasmophobia, that's the one. Right. Phasmophobia. Thank you. That one looks very fun. I don't really make time to play co-op outside of Playframe almost ever. Because Playframe is easily like a good 70% of my gaming time, and most of the rest of it is footage recording. And I don't have a whole lot of reason to record Phasmophobia footage. In last week's episode, you did mention that now it's an inevitability that a Dan Hunter honeydew is going to show up at some point, but would it be more, like, sillily disappointing for a Dan Hunter cantaloupe to show up instead? So even the honeydew-based invasion being disappointing in that it wasn't the one, that it wasn't even, like, the most comedically appropriate invasion. Thematically, that does feel like a... I can't tell if it's funnier. There is definitely an added layer of funny to it. I don't know if it adds up to a greater total sum of funny, but it has an extra dimension of funny that I do appreciate. Melon Hunter, I feel like, has slightly different connotations. Smug Rainbow Pony. I feel like if you name your Dark Souls character that, or your Elden Ring character or what have you, and you show up in other people's worlds, and your name is Melon Hunter, I feel like that is going to suggest a really different meaning than what you might intend. I fully get where you're going with it. I've forgotten how to swim. Bear floats too good. Full disclosure, you're French. That's fair. I feel for anyone who has to navigate the idioms and wordplay of our or any language. But I am given to understand that English, in particular, lends itself to unintended, like, risque or suggestive speech very easily. It might be that there's other languages that are even more hazardous for that. Waiting for Dan Hunter's Silk Song to show up. At least it will have finally arrived, yes. We've been waiting so patiently. Dan Hunter Toph will have to destroy the Dans, though, or it won't be lore accurate. That's true. Toph losing does feel incorrect. I haven't even gotten my jump yet. What am I? I should actually pay a little bit of attention to what I'm doing in the game instead of just chatting. I'm enjoying chatting, but I'm also on track to spend an hour in the tutorial zone, which is not, ironically, very good at refreshing my memory on the things about Banjo that I need to know. At this point, you're amazed we don't have more Dan Hunter hunters. I'm all for just increasing faction expansion. Jump, then press A again. Oh, that's the one you wanted. That's what I get for not paying even a little attention to my chatty mole friend. You're not good enough to be a Dan Hunter? Hey, listen, you don't have to be good at Dark Souls to do some Dan hunting. All you really need to do for some Dan hunting is just a very good gimmick. It's like professional wrestling. Like, the right gimmick and character can be all you need. Can rocket you to the top of the industry. You don't even have to wrestle. Just have a very, very good character and funny bits. And just show up every week. And you'll be beloved. I am, like, Dan and I are at this point pretty set on whenever we do Elden Ring co-op, doing it as a randomizer, which I'm so excited about. The only downside being that invasions won't really be feasible. So I feel like we need to find some alternative way to do Elden Ring co-op as well that might lend itself to invasions a bit more. Like, not that we should do 2 co-op playthroughs of Elden Ring, because, God, that would take, like, 5 years or more. Where's the one that teaches me swimming? Because I've apparently forgotten how. Is this one? Yeah, we might have to do some just, like, Elden Ring Fight Club episodes or something. Just because, like, Elden Ring has so many toys, so many armor sets, so many spells, and it's going to have more by the time we actually do any co-op stuff when the DLC comes on. So, like, the possibility for theming your invader is endless. If I was a full-time YouTuber streamer and didn't have New Frame Plus that I needed to also be working on, if I was just doing Playframe full-time, I would totally do multiple co-op Elden Ring runs with Dan. And in the long run, maybe I will do 2 co-op Elden Ring runs with Dan. In the very long term. But one thing at a time. I've committed to so many very, very long playthroughs. Ah, I'm falling behind. Silly me. You sneaky folks. Thank you, Sir Him, for the 12 months. Thank you, Smug Rainbow Pony, for the 15 months. 15 months for Barry T. Engineer as well. If your moles have gotten chatty, please see a dermatologist. A dermatologist slash, like, exorcist. Something is definitely going on with your moles if they are chatty. I don't know what your condition is in that case, but I think the dermatologist is going to need backup of some sort, and I don't know by whom. Thank you for the 6 months, though, Kevlar. And the 10 months for Kevlaxi. No wonder I'm falling behind. I didn't have in my little, like, earbud where I'm, like, hearing the little alerts. I'm out of practice. Can't wait for the missing link addition to the Playframe Kingdom Hearts playthrough. Oh, I'm dreading that. I don't know how that's going to... I haven't given it any thought yet. I don't know how that's going to work. I'll find something, I'm sure. But I don't know. I think my little earbud thing is dead. Oh well. Anyway. Banjo times, though. Since you were so thorough on your solo run, if you did another regular co-op run with Dan Jones, you could probably blitz through much faster. It'd still be long, but you could basically just get bosses and the occasional detour for items for the build. Yeah, I guess it would, like... It really will depend on how kind the theoretical randomizer is in that case, right? Do we get the stuff we need to get cohesive builds going? If we do an enemy randomizer as well as item, how mean is that seed? You are right that it wouldn't be as long, though. Even just being co-op alone would make a world of difference. Hey, thanks for the 10 months, Lizzie Tipo. And the 13 months, that guy, 777. Oh, if he did like a rando and a regular one. Gotcha, gotcha. Yes, bottles. What a cozy game. I suppose the silver lining to not really being able to be invaded in a seamless co-op run of Elden Ring is that it will help the pace to stay like pretty fast, because getting invaded constantly does tend, like, while very fun, does slow forward progress a bit, which I don't have a problem with generally, but Elden Ring is already so long. Just kind of trying to remember where all the jiggies are, where level entrances are, where items are, how to do various things. I just want to say a quick thank you. I came across your Playframe vids around the time you were uploading Hollow Knight. Your channel's been always brought me comfort and smiles in this chaotic world. Many thanks. Oh, that's kind of you to say. I'm very glad you've enjoyed it. Making Playframe brings me a huge amount of delight as well. It's a comforting, regular part of life. Like, it takes a lot of time, sure. But it's, I don't know. It's a fun routine that I enjoy a good deal. And yeah, we would have a much larger pool of invaders in Elden Ring. You are absolutely right. It would be out of control. Why am I practicing banjo? Dan and I are thinking of recording a thing later. And while I'm not really that worried about it, it's been... I haven't touched Banjo-Kazooie the game since Dan and I played it on Playframe years ago. So it's been a little while. It's not fresh in my brain. I just kind of wanted to get reacquainted before we, like, considered recording anything. But I'm not spoiling what it is we're thinking of doing, because that's going to be a fun surprise if it works out. If it doesn't work out, we'll do something else fun. Wouldn't have bought Mr. Sun's hat box if I hadn't shown it off on Playframe. I'm happy to help. I am sorry for those of you for whom I've been showing you an interesting game every week. Really adding to your Steam library and homework, gaming-wise. But, if it helps, I'm right there with you. Except worse, because I've had to lay eyes on just about every 2023 game I can find to assess the animation in them. Oh, I don't know the stomp yet. That's just called the Playframe effect. I've heard of this. Guess I might as well do the egg shooting thing. Whee! Someone mentioned in chat that they're surprised we didn't see anything of the Come on. Is this not working? There we go. I'm surprised we didn't see Elden Ring DLC trailer at the Game Awards too. That's what I was trying to say. It's been quite a while since we heard any news. Oh yeah, Backpack Hero. Yeah, I did a one-off of that on Playframe a week or two ago, and that one definitely hooked some people. Probably would have hooked me too if I had time to play more of it. But I don't, because doggone it, do you know how many games there are? Came out this year. So many. I think the Talon Trot is either at the bottom of this hill or at the top of it. I can't remember which. Bottles, where are you when I need you? I'll find you. He's probably like right back up here near the top, or he's gonna be somewhere really obvious seeming in retrospect. This is why I'm warming up. This is why we're streaming a Banjo-Kazooie. Will I play Final Fantasy XVI's new DLC? I don't know. I will wait to hear how it is. My feeling right now is no. Because I like ultimately kind of felt pretty cold about like I was kind of feeling mixed on 16 as I played it, and the longer I've had to think about it since finishing it, I kind of feel like I don't ultimately like 16 that, or like I don't think 16 is a great game ultimately. Even though it has individual parts that are fantastic. I don't know. I don't think I want to, like, give it more time on the channel right, like, at least not soon. Maybe later. It could be something that I feel like later on I want to come back to. I feel like if we're doing another Final Fantasy on the channel, and we will be, it should be... I can think of different ones. There is actually going to be quite a bit of Final Fantasy on the channel in the coming 6 months. Yes, Rebirth is coming soon, isn't it? It is very, very soon. I'm excited. I don't know if I've been that excited about a game, like this, that hyped up feeling about an impending game release in a long time. I have no idea what they're going to do, and it's compelling. It is true, there is already a lot of Final Fantasy on the channel. You make a good point. Touché. Final Fantasy VI, I will do that on the channel someday too. Hey, Mumbo. I don't know when I'll do 6, but someday. Like, there's a lot of Final Fantasies I want to do on the channel someday. 6, Tactics, 9. Those are like the... Oh, 10 and 10 too. Absolutely. When those happen? Not sure, but those are all ones that I'm like... Definitely happening. Someday. Termites, please. There we go. You unfortunately played Tactics Advance and Advance 2 first, and then tried Tactics, but was too used to some of the quality of life things they did and couldn't stand it mechanically. Yeah, that's an interesting, like, situation to find oneself in with game franchises sometimes. I really wonder, like, I imagine there's got to be a lot of people who have become fans of Elden Ring. Like, Elden Ring's the first one of the FromSoft games they played, and wanted to go back and like try some of these other celebrated games, and probably found stuff like Demon Souls hard to get into because of like how just much older and kind of relatively rougher it is. But I bet there's folks for whom Dark Souls is also hard to get into, actually. Like, all of them, all three of them. If Elden Ring was your endpoint, there's so much. I feel like Elden Ring improves on Souls in so many ways. Not every way, but like so many. I could genuinely see people loving Elden Ring, but then having a harder time getting into the previous games. And Dark Souls and Demon Souls are the two first ones I played, and even I have a hard time going back to, like, Demon Souls is not the one that I would choose to go back to if I was just planning to revisit a Souls game for fun. And I can't imagine trying Kingsfield. Although maybe I should try, what was the one that came out this year that is inspired by those? Lunacid, I think? There's an indie game that came out this year called Lunacid that is basically taking inspiration from FromSoft, like, Kingsfield era. Not Souls era, Kingsfield era. And I don't know, like, I hear it's good, I think. I don't know how good it is, and I don't know how it compares to Kingsfield, having never played it, but that it exists delights me. And thanks for the 10 months, Nismith. And who else am I missing here? Kainekokun, thank you for the 15 months. Hello, Dad. It's been a while since I caught you online. It's been a while since I've been online, to be fair. I've been a bit of a rare drop lately. A shiny of myself. Can confirm Lunacid extremely Kingsfield. Well, good. I'm glad. Okay, Artful Teresk. You are one for, like, for whom the thing I said is true. Elden Ring's the first you played, and Dark Souls 3 after that was a struggle. That doesn't surprise me. It's just how it goes when a dev just is so good at building better and better versions of the thing they've been working on for decades. How many Mumbo tokens do I have now? Not enough. Need one more. Is there one in here? I don't remember. There is one in here. There we go. Whew. I am worn out. I probably won't do a super long stream tonight, even though I won't be able to get super far in Banjo. This has been a tiring month. I've just missed streaming. You want to try Sekiro at some point? Mechanically, it seems the most similar to Elden Ring. Once you get crouch and jump, it's hard to go back. Sekiro, I feel like will be one. If Dark Souls is hard to get into, I think Sekiro might weirdly be one of the easiest. Like, so if Elden Ring is what you started with, and you liked Elden Ring, but Dark Souls has been kind of hard to get into, which I can completely understand. Demon Souls would definitely be hard to get into. Bloodborne might be as well, because it's pretty similar. Sekiro is a different enough thing. I feel like that one might still be a good time. It's just, it is... Like, Elden Ring's got some Sekiro DNA in there. Like, it's used some mechanics and all that, but it's such a different kind of game. It's just so much more of an action game than a slow, methodical, or the relatively slow and methodical Souls games. It's not completely different, but I think Sekiro might be a different enough thing that it doesn't feel like just a worse Elden Ring. in the way that the Souls games easily could feel that way. I like your odds. Also, you can pause in Sekiro, which, boy, that's nice. Especially for those of us who have to record things. Alright, so I remember that there's the Jiggy outside that I need to be a termite for. There's also the Grunty switch in here, though, that I need to not be a termite for. So let's save time. Stop being a termite. Change me back. I think I'm gonna take advantage of that hydrate and stretch reminder I was given over the course of the last 45 minutes or so. It's a good idea. That helps. What's the day? It's the 13th. I am in a, like, I'm not a person who, like, goes all out doing any annual holiday of any sort. Like, I don't really do anything for Halloween. I don't do anything for, like, I don't do much for Christmas even, regularly. But, this year, because of busyness and chaos and everything, I've, like, not given even half a thought to, like, Christmas anything. It may as well still be November as far as my brain is concerned. What is the... I'm gonna go back in the world and hit the witch switch because I don't remember what it does. I want to say it opens a door out in the lair. One side, gorilla. Oh, right, I gotta... Right. Boing. Okay. Now. Bam. What's it do? Oh, right. It creates the Jiggy that I'm going to not bother to get right now. I remember now. Well, now we know. Off we go further into the lair. One side, bottles. Wait, your work is giving you the whole week off for Christmas, but unpaid. That sucks. My sympathies. I mean, time off is nice, but mandatory time off, unpaid. Not nice. Rather uncool of them. Oops. Okay. One of the big things I definitely need to try to achieve here is at least remembering where a lot of the, like, world entrances and such are. So you come in here into this breathtaking set piece. Further up here is Treasure Trove Cove, I think. Maybe I should go down to actually interact with the cauldron. One thing in Tui's favor, harder to get lost when you have labeled fast travel points. That is true. I mean, well, sort of. I feel like I have just an easy time getting lost. I think those labeled fast travel points help, but then I think, like, it's also then sort of counterbalanced by the world being way bigger. So, like, it kind of evens out in the end. But yeah, if it didn't have those labeled fast travel points, that would be rough. I wonder with Tui, in retrospect, I wonder if the fast travel points actually made me a little worse about remembering how all the places fit together. Because if you can fast travel from place to place, you don't have to kind of commit the map to memory. Not saying that I want it to not have those. I just wonder if it also had a downside. Crab! I did feel pretty... It's neither here nor there, but it was pretty gratifying when Mark Brown made a Game Maker's Toolkit video about Banjo-Tooie and did basically just kind of straight up say, hey, this is a worse game. It's not like Mark is the authority of game design quality or anything, but it's just nice hearing other people say it now and then. Crabs, please. The validation. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Not that I'd ever want to take it away from someone, like someone who enjoys Banjo-Tooie a lot and likes it better than Banjo-Kazooie. Would never want to take that away. Because heck, I wanted to like it too. But it is definitely nice hearing, yeah, like what y'all are saying. Hearing someone whose opinion you respect voicing an opinion similar to the one that you feel. What about Banjo 3? I would like a Banjo 3 someday. And Nuts and Bolts is pretty good. Like, I've not played it in a while. I know that it is better than the... It is better than the reception it got. I understand the reception it got, because it's not really a Banjo game. But it's, like, if you take it on its own terms, as a just very different kind of game that happens to star Banjo characters for some reason, it's pretty fun. It's kind of like the aspect of Tears of the Kingdom that is about, like, creating custom objects and vehicles and devices to solve problems. That's basically what the whole game is. It's pretty fun. But it is not a satisfying follow-up to Banjo-Kazooie. I guess neither is Banjo-Tooie, really, but it's certainly closer. Boing. Alright, here's one over here. Any chance I'll play the day before on the channel? I hear the animation is something. No, I don't think so. I need to look into it, granted. I've only ever mostly just, like, seen the pre-release trailers and stuff like that. But I don't play tons of games like that, and having spent a long time working on various State of Decay games, I'm kind of all, like, zombie survival simmed out. Does the day before have some, like, I'm feeling like it's being received, like, I've not heard anything about the game since it came out. Is it being received very well? Poorly? I also know that it's totally okay if there was sarcasm in there and that didn't come across in chat. But I'm also ill-equipped to have picked it up, even if it did come across well, as I don't know the context. The devs closed shop under a week after release. Jeez. Oh, that sucks. I feel bad for them. I mean, everyone's going through it. It sucks, though. What a, like, great crop of games and an absolute rotten year for them. Sounds like it shipped pretty rough. It was a copy-paste game and might have been done intentionally. You smell a lawsuit? I don't think you're going to get much of a lawsuit out of it. Like, again, I need to look into it, but, especially given the studio's been closed. Like, a game being disappointing or not quite as advertised in pre-release trailers, I don't think is going to get a lot of momentum on any sort of lawsuit of any variety. But I suppose I shouldn't speak authoritatively. I have zero idea of any of the information around it, so. Feel bad for the devs, though. Like with the lawsuit talk, is it the sort of thing where like it's early screenshots and trailers looked better than what the game actually shipped as? Because yeah, like that. If that's the case, then that's not something that any kind of lawsuit is going to do much of anything about. Most every studio is showing not final work or showing work that they are targeting in early pre-release stuff. That's not what the game looks like at that time. It's what they're aiming to get toward. Oh, and the studio had made a few well-respected indie games to their name before this? Ah. It has been rough seeing so many darn closures and layoffs happening everywhere. Some people think it was a scam, others just read it as getting too ambitious and their reach exceeding their grasp. Yeah, I almost guarantee that is probably closer to the truth. Like, 9 times out of 10, I hear the speculation of a game being some kind of scam or cash grab or thing like that. It is not an accurate to the reality of the situation. Like, especially a game that was clearly in the works in some form for multiple years from a studio that had made, like, some well-liked things before. That just sounds like development troubles and a studio that was probably already under a lot of financial strain. Like, the fact that they're shut down almost immediately after the game gets across the finish line suggests that they were probably on the verge of getting shut down. Like, whoever was in charge there was probably planning that shutdown well before the game shipped. And was just kind of like waiting for the moment to do so. It sucks. In fact, that the studio was closed down shortly after it released, like, so someone was saying it's sort of like it came out as almost like an alpha from what folks heard, which is basically like an alpha is kind of like the first kind of complete version of a game in development. You've reached, like, it's a generally like it's the point where a game contains all the content you were meaning to include in it. Like, you can play the game beginning to end. And from there, it's just like refining everything and making it all work right and sorting out all the problems and just getting it further along. It might have frankly come out as alpha because the studio was getting shut down and they realized, oh, it's either ship this or the game just or we get shut down before we're able to actually finish it as intended and the game disappears into ether. So I guess we're releasing this. Dan, hello! And thank you for the 13 months. How are you doing, my fellow Dan? Pretty good, I hope. I'm playing Banjo-Kazooie, but too absent-mindedly to actually absorb what I'm doing, because I'm just enjoying chatting too much. So it goes. I'm doing pretty good. Sleepy. It's been a busy month. It's okay, Jones isn't elsewhere. He can't judge our gaming skills. True. Ah, Jinjo. Yes. I like how they cut the music out up here. Like, so much of what Banjo-Kazooie does with music adapting to your location is really lovely, and there's so many versions of each level's music for all the different areas. The idea to have the music just cut out all the way up here and just the sounds of wind at this elevation. Great environmental touch. I like it. Can confirm, making something a multiplayer game, especially a massive multiplayer game of any kind, exponentially multiplies the difficulty of delivering it. The rumors are true. Don't make a multiplayer game. I don't know why anyone does it. Making a game's hard enough. Why do we do this to ourselves? Why? Yeah, Dan, why would anyone work on a multiplayer game? I don't get it. It's fun. I've worked almost exclusively, or I've had the good fortune to work almost exclusively on multiplayer games in my career. And it just, being multiplayer instantly closes so many doors to, like, potential solutions to design problems. So many things that you could smoke and mirrors or use duct tape for. If it's multiplayer, nope. Doesn't work. Not an option. Single player game, you want to show the player a cutscene real quick? Figuring out how to implement that? Nice and easy. It's like, all right, well, we'll just show them the cutscene. If we need to, maybe we'll like pause the simulation of the world for a second, or make the player invincible so enemies can't hurt them, or maybe we'll make the player invisible to enemies for that moment while they're watching the cutscene, so the enemies won't even see them or attack them, and it'll just anything that we got to do to make it to where the game doesn't really keep on going while the cutscene's going on, so the player's safe and all that. All right, now it's a multiplayer game. All those options don't work. What happens to what does everyone else see the instant you go into a cutscene? Solve for X. There's a ton of different ways to solve that problem, each of which introduces so many new problems and systems that you have to account for. Multiplayer games are a nightmare. Does this apply for couch co-op type games? Less so for couch co-op, somewhat, depending on the game and how you design it. But couch co-op is, at least is going to be easier for a lot of things. Not everything. In fact, it's going to introduce a lot of its own new challenges, because now it's also having to render two different views at once. So there's definitely a lot more chaos introduced there, but Baldur's Gate 3, clearly the other players can keep going. Baldur's Gate is such, like, Larian Studios games are an incredible feat of multiplayer design and engineering. I can't believe those games actually work with how much freedom every player has. You want to know why it's so, like, almost every multiplayer game that has the option makes it to where, like, Like, you ever wonder why Monster Hunter has your main hub where all the campaign happens and all the NPCs live and stuff like that? And then there's the Gathering hub, which is where you can run into multiplayer people. Like, that's the only place outside of a loaded into level doing an objective where you can run into multiplayer people. And, like, games try to keep, like, narrative and cinematics and stuff and multiplayer play as segregated as much as possible, because that just solves so many problems. If you don't have to answer about, like, all right, what does everyone else see while they're in this cutscene? Are they also in the cutscene? What's happening in the world? What if they're in a different place in the story? Like, all the questions that you then have to figure out the answer for. If you just make it to where, like, you know, everyone's experiencing this as a single player game, but you go out on missions together, and then as soon as the mission's done, bam, you're solo again. Now you can see the scene. Like, just keeping narrative and multiplayer as separate as possible. It's completely siloed. Does it feel, like, elegant? Always? Not always, no, but boy, it solves problems. Even Final Fantasy XIV keeps, like, narrative and multiplayer as far apart as it can. And for the better. I think it would, like, make the game worse and a lot more, like, they'd be a lot more constrained in what they could do if they tried to integrate multiplayer into their narrative stuff more than they do. I'm barely playing Banjo-Kazooie anymore. Certainly not with my brain. I'm just a bear in a boat. Swimming for gold. Does anyone ever play Banjo, or do they experience it? That's true. Banjo's always been at the helm secretly. We are but passengers. Kazooie, take the wheel, etc. Hydrate, that's a good reminder. You, have some of your gold. Where's the other part of the entrance to the ship? Here we go. Yes, 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 yes. Can you imagine if Kazooie was allowed to drive a car? That is a fun thought experiment. There's definitely no legal way that Kazooie acquires a driver's license. No country on Earth would give this bird a driver's license. Ooh. Forgot about that up there. Gimme. I got you gold. Bumper cars, regular cars, because we can't tell the difference, nor does she care. That's true. Like, at the end of the day, aren't they all bumper cars? But for this social contract we've all agreed to. Any car could become a bumper car at any time. If you but have the will. Not sure you like where this is going, Yen. I'm not sure I do either. Oh, come on. Oh, Catastros? Yes. Like, the old way that, I guess still the way that Praetorium works in Final Fantasy XIV is an artifact of... is an artifact of 14 not originally designing smartly how their narrative experience and their multiplayer interacted. And even now, several revisions in, everyone's got to watch out all the cutscenes that happen in the middle of Praetorium, and it still takes a half hour every time. And they've had to come up with an entire unique roulette that includes just 2 dungeons just to ensure that some players keep doing them so that the new players can have someone to do the dungeon with. Like, that's a real duct tape fix. That's several duct tape fixes on top of each other, and it's working. But it just goes to show how easy it is to work yourself into a really unpleasant experience corner trying to design a narrative in a multiplayer game. Hey, Callow, welcome, and thank you for the 9 months. Oh, also thank you, Broxbasher, for the raid. Welcome. Sorry, I'm not hearing alerts like I usually do because my little headset thing that I usually listen to is charging. But welcome. Welcome, Brox and friends. Oh, no. I still don't know what that hi sound is, but I really like it. Somebody should ask Grant at some point. Mario vs. Rabbids 2 and like DLC are probably done now. He's probably got a spare minute before he gets wrangled in for some other soundtrack. Someone find Grant and ask, what is that sound effect? And did you make it? What do I have left in this world? Few jiggies, all of the, man, honeycomb pieces, and some notes. Had a lot of fun watching the Final Fantasy and Arxis videos, by the way. Oh, thank you. I'm flattered. Glad you enjoyed. That's true. Grant is on Twitter. I could probably just ask him about the sound effect. I said hi to him at MagFest once, like years ago. That was my moment, and I just didn't think of it at the time. Opportunity missed. I miss MagFest. Haven't gotten to go in years. Won't be able to go this time either. I used to speedrun Banjo-Kazooie before it got really competitive. A sub 4 hour 100%. Woo! Wow. That's cool. Probably a pretty fun run, too. I've looked this up before, and now I've completely forgotten. How fast is the any percent record these days? I'm guessing, like, sub 15 minutes, yeah? Oh, 2 hours? Okay. You just checked. Excellent. Our brains are on the same wavelength, but you are ahead. Oh, that's 100%. Okay. Any percent. All right. I'm guessing sub 15 minutes. Maybe even sub 12. Maybe that's too ambitious, but I could see most people actually going for 100% with Banjo. Just if the any percent is like ends up skipping so much of the game and any percent can be done in 2 hours. Yeah, I could see people going for that. Because of B-skip, of course. B-skip. 59 minutes. Okay. Longer than I expected. That's actually kind of amazing that any percent is an hour, 100% is 2. I guess you do need a lot of the stuff to progress. Like, you need a lot of notes, you need a lot of jiggies and such to get through, like, the doors and to get access to further levels and all that, so taking the time to get 100% if you got a good route won't be that much longer. Xbox is 36 minutes. Cool. Rusty Bucket Bay engine room is the asterisks to the fun speed run. Yeah, no, that would be. Because that's a nightmare room near the end of the game. That makes complete sense. Jinjo! Leave me be, shark. Haha! Hey, thanks for the gifted sub there, Yen. All right, let's go find another level. As long as I'm just getting reacquainted, let's see as much as we can. Wait, hang on. What was this, like, what does this swim take you to? I forget. Or was this? No, the swim was outside. There's a jump up here. I think up here is where the jiggy goes. That fires. Yeah, there it is. Ha-hoo! Wow, that was not it. Ha-hoo! There it kind of is. The voice didn't entirely cooperate with the who. You got all the Jinjos but never collected their jiggy. That does sound like me. Easy come, easy go. I don't need a reward to save these poor innocent Jinjos. I'm Paragon Shepherd in this BioWare RPG. BioWare should have made a Banjo RPG. They made a Sonic RPG. They clearly had time on their hands. I didn't know that was there. Now I do. Hi, Brintelda. I'm not talking to you. We aren't on speaking terms. Oh, right. This is the Click-Clack-Wood one. Okay, right. Genuine question. What's your favorite new thing that Tooie did? It's not really a new thing. I do genuinely think Tooie is a funnier game than Kazooie is. Like, the writing in Tooie is, like, and the dialogue are legit funny. Let's see, what else? I think in, like, I like a lot of Tooie's additions and changes in theory, just not as much in practice. I know there were some things that I did genuinely like, though. I like the variety that Tooie brings. Like, Tooie brings new modes of play and, like, mini games and stuff like that, and I think that that is actually great. That you have just random GoldenEye level challenges, and that you got, like, mini games like the little rock dude ball sport. I forget what it's called, but you know the one in Mayhem. There's like a lot of different kinds of modes of play in Tooie, which gives a lot more variety, and that is, I think, legit great. Like, Mario Odyssey is, I feel like, one of the best real Banjo-Kazooie style games. Like, if you're looking for Banjo 3E, we may never get that, but Mario Odyssey scratches a very similar itch, and Mario Odyssey also gets a lot of value out of, like, just novelty and fun little mini games and challenges and stuff. And those parts of Tooie were legit good too, I think. It is true, Bowser doesn't rhyme. So not a true successor. Bowser should rhyme. He's tried everything else. Have you seen the lengths Bowser is going to these days? The desperation that is set in? I just realized I'm one note short. That is very funny. Especially in the N64 version of Banjo-Kazooie where you have to go and... Oh, chat noticed? Oh, I'm sure they did. All right, which one's going to be easier to get some more notes? Probably... Well, Mumbo's, weirdly. Can I get to Clankers yet? I thought... No, Clankers isn't up there. That's where Bubble Gloop Swamp stuff is. One of these goes to Clankers, and I'm forgetting which. It's above the pipe. Thank you. Thank God a Banjo speedrunner has entered chat to save me. By the way, thank you for the 3 months, Zatoichi. All the places leading to worlds have angry eyes above them. I'd forgotten that. Like, I never knew it as a kid. I heard it probably for the first time, like probably in the comments when Dan and I played Banjo-Kazooie on Playframe. And then I'd forgotten it again. That's really cool. I'll have to go backwards to open the door, though. Down by the puzzle for treasure. Okay, boy, I'm glad you... See, this is why I needed to... refresh on some Banjo knowledge. Because despite how much I love this game, and I've beaten it various times, I'll never, ever remember my way around. So, like, down in the water is to click-lock puzzle. Oh, that's right. And the puzzle for Treasure Trove Cove was back this-a-way. It was back toward the entrance. This is good. This is the remembering I really need to be doing. I wonder if this time I'll remember about the red eyes above the door thing. Will my brain, like, actually file that away long-term? Can only hope. Nope. Hang on. Which C button was it to fill it all in? Whatever, else today. Probably doesn't help I've been talking over it for most of the last few times I've played it. That is 100% fact. Yes. The fact that I am streaming it or Let's Playing it, chatting with y'all or with Dan guarantees that everything I'm experiencing is just like in one ear, out the other, just gone. Sephiroth voice grunty. I'd forgotten all about that. Next time she chats at us, that'll be our moment. I'm so excited for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Y'all have no idea. So much more than I expected to be excited for this remake at all. Printilda, please. Did I play the remake on the channel? I did. It was a grand time. It is Dan, have you played it? If you haven't played it, I do highly recommend either playing it or watching it. Oh, you played the first half or so. Okay, so you've got the idea of its contents then. If you've not seen where that story goes, I need you to see where that story goes, because it's not where you expect, and it is bold. It is one of the boldest things I've ever seen. Oh, you watched the action button? Okay, good. Yeah, of course. Of course you watched the action button thing. Yes, okay. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad that you know about the story of 7 Remake, and also that you're watching Action Button. That delighted me when you told me a while back. Now I'm just filling out puzzles. I'm talking about other games. And getting lost for fun. Okay, let's see. Is there anything else hidden around here? No. You started going through his Kotaku stuff too? I should actually watch more of that. I think there's probably some stuff I missed. Many tricks are up my sleeve. To save yourself, you'd better leave. I have not listened to Sephiroth's voice in too long. I'm out of practice. I guess we'll get to brush up soon, huh? That Let's Mosey Final Fantasy VII like translation series Tim did on Kotaku. Phenomenal. I loved it. Sephiroth should rhyme. All villains should rhyme. Why aren't the rest of the villains rhyming yet? More rhyming. What could it hurt, Bowser? You've tried, like, you've turned yourself into a castle. Even that, I feel, I mean, I've not seen the end of Super Mario Brothers Wonder, but I'm gonna go ahead and leap guessing the castle thing doesn't work out. Just try a rhyme, man. It's gotta be way easier than these other things you are attempting. And that castle thing cannot have been healthy. How many years has he shaved off the end of his life? Gotta be more responsible, Bowser. You got a kid now. And somebody clearly needs to be raising that kid. I feel like Bowser Jr. is in need of guidance. And a good parental figure, which Bowser is... How did I even get started on this topic? I don't remember. Hello, Clanker. I love how intimidating Clanker looks. Like, this is a great little reveal arrival. Seeing what is in fact a very friendly shark machine. Sephiroth rhyming, right, that's how we got here. Hey, thanks for the 15 months. That is everywhere. Welcome to Banjo time. I don't think my, like, brain is functioning that well anymore. But we're here anyway. Playing Banjo, getting lost, occasionally progressing. Couldn't tell you how. Ah, no. I fell. Ah! Come on now. I am getting the muscle memory back. That is at least good. I can see Banjo being really fun to run. Because movement feels pretty good. I was trying to think of like what other games would be, if I were to choose other games to speedrun, what would they be? And I still don't really know. Little Gator Game was really the only one that I started feeling the itch to actually try. And I haven't even done that in a good 8 months or so. I bet that run, no, I know that run is completely different than when I was running it. Some of the tech, like movement tech and the strats that its bites showed off at GDQ 6 months ago at this point were quite different than what I knew. Mario Odyssey would be fun to run. Like, I can't think, it's hard to think of a more competitive, there aren't many more competitive games than that one in terms of other people running it. But they're running it for a reason. Boy, movement feels good in Mario Odyssey. Can I reach? Ah. I was at, so my best time was 16 minutes 13, which I'm still pretty happy about. I feel like with more practice, I could have gotten it down to 15 minutes. And I probably, if I learned the new tech, I probably could get it down to sub 16 easy. That I am still within 3 minutes of world record. I'm pretty satisfied by. If that's the closest I get, I'll take it. Welcome, Nightshade. You have caught a stream. And my streams are quite hard to catch. I do them so infrequently these days. Welcome. What other games would I want to run, though? It really does come down to, like, the movement feeling good. I think, like, that's clearly not a requirement for everybody. But I feel like that would be a big one for me. Just going fast in the game, feeling good. Path of Pain speedrun, yeah. I did not realize you put yourself through that. Under 3 minutes. Are you kidding me? That's terrifying. And very impressive. Even if you are out of practice now, you're more in practice for Path of Pain than I am. I have not touched that. I've not touched that place since the Bug Knight run. I did play Hollow Knight again just for funsies. Like, I think it was during the move a little bit. Is that when I played it? Oh, maybe it was like over holidays or something. And I played, boy, a lot of it. I was not like 100%, but I did a lot in that game. I did not do Path of Pain again. Bubble. Whew, close. More bubbles. I don't know if Path of Pain's I don't know if that's a good candidate for me to run. As soon as you saw people pogoing off of spells, you knew your Hollow Knight speedrunning dreams were dead. That's cool. I didn't know you could do that. But yeah, I imagine the Bug... Uh-oh. I imagine the Bug Knight runs are pretty out of control these days. Bubble! Ah, too slow. Oh, well. You feel like short is also important for a Floyd speedrun? I think so, just realistically. Like, as one who does not have a whole ton of time in general, I can't really commit to a long run. I'm not going to be 100%ing DK64 anytime soon. Speed running or otherwise. I've been trying to decide, every now and then I have the thought that Dan and I should do DK64 on the channel. But I'm trying to, like, think, who's that for? And I'm not sure. Like, okay, so I know who it's for episode 1 through 3. After that, who is it for? I'm not sure. At what point does the novelty of, like, they're actually doing it give way to the, oh man, they're actually doing it, huh? And yet a part of me is tempted. I'm glad to see that there's a few of you who that would be for. That is encouraging. For Dan Jones, who already did it. Yeah, like, well, of course he did. Y'all seen what he subjects himself to on streams? Did he ever finish that all shiny Pokemon run? Whether he did or not, that man subjects himself to a lot of painful experiences for reasons I don't always entirely understand, but I'm proud of him all the same. Bubbles. Thank you, Gloop. Fish, I'm going to be following you around this time. This is the N64. Death has consequences. Dan, I'm curious. Now that you've been watching, you've been just mainlining a bunch of Action Button and Tim Rogers stuff. Do you have, like, a favorite quote or joke or bit? Because that man has said some exquisite sentences. I don't know if I could pick a favorite on demand either, but I am curious. He has a way with language. I love the voice he puts on, too. I don't know where he... Like, it's such a distinctive, clearly performed voice. That's obviously not what he talks like. Like, the affect of both his writing style and the performance of his voice is so unusual and distinct and very him, and I really love it. I'm so curious how he arrived at that. I feel like I don't remember enough of the specifics to quote him yet. I watched a stream of him streaming the Game Awards, and he referred to games he wants to play as "I'll smoke that." I love how his brain works. So the God of War DLC, he said, "I'll smoke that god." Maybe he just does the voice because it's fun to do. It's fun to imitate. Yeah. I was trying to see if you had anything else interesting to swipe in here, Krabs, but fine. I will do combats. Give me your life force. I need it to live. I really cherish, in any given Tim Rogers video, the weighty silence before he says hello. It's always a little bit different in every video. How do I get up there? It's always a little bit different in every video. But I enjoy that little beat of silence before just the very pronounced hello. Incredible creator. Hey, Chaos Carry, thank you for the 13 months. Is this the Elden Jiggy? No, I should watch that little video blurb reading I did again. It's been a while. But boy, that Elden Jiggy script amused me greatly, and it was entirely too fun to read. Whee! I didn't free the shark this time, did I? No. Well, or let the shark up for air. I went down there and got, like, notes and stuff, but then didn't actually do the thing again after I died. My bad. The loathsome Canary Mary. I don't know what it is, but every Banjo playthrough we've done, by which I mean both Banjo playthroughs we've done, have led to some extremely good, like, opening game scene recreation bits. Banjo-Tooie had Elden Jiggy. Banjo-Kazooie had the opening Andrew Ryan speech from Bioshock, but given by Grunty for some reason that I no longer remember. Right, it's because of the big statue she has in foyer number 3 or 4 on this huge lair that just looks very much like it should be holding the no gods or kings, only man thing. In the whole video somebody made. Man. It amazes me how, like, we've had a lot of funny bits that I'm proud of over the course of these playthroughs, but there is an extremely non-zero amount of comedy that you folks bring to a lot of these playthroughs as well. That would not emerge naturally. Yeah, the sweat of his brow speech, which Dan and I had amused ourselves with the idea of Grunty giving the Andrew Ryan speech in rhyme, and then someone actually went and wrote it, and then someone made a video of exactly that. I didn't add anything to that. I just straight up just rolled the video so people could see it. Because it's extremely good. The entire speech in rhyme. With Grunty doing her the entire time on screen. Exquisite. You're out for Pokemon DLC. Have fun! I'll be astonished if once Nintendo new hardware does come out, if Pokemon Scarlet and Silver aren't given overhauled versions that run as intended. I know that seems like a non sequitur, and that's because it is, but it's just a thought I had. And we're kind of going free association on thoughts to speech at this point. Did I say Scarlet and Silver? Scarlet and Violet. You know the ones. Well, that would be quite the curveball, huh? Coming soon. A shiny new remake of Pokemon Scarlet and Silver. Now, gotta do the big jump. There we go. All right, last one. Where you at? There you are. Ooh, it's gonna be a little close. No. Haha! Pokemon Gold and Yellow. There is something, well, maybe it's just my brain being where it is right now, but there is something very funny to me about wrong Pokemon game combinations. Pokemon Fire Red and Omega Sapphire. Pokemon Sword and X, that's way funnier. Pokemon Ruby and Box. Pokemon Black and Blue. Okay, that one's actually pretty clever. Everyone loves the classic starters, Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Tentacool. Sun and Shield. That one, if I stumbled across that one in conversation, that one would slip right past me and I wouldn't even think about it. Oh yeah, Sun and Shield, you know. They feel like they go together really well. Red and Moon. I don't know why some of these do actually land in a very funny way. Pokemon White and Gold. Also good. Moon and Red. Scarlet and Detective Pikachu. That's funnier that... Just this whole concept is funnier than it has any right to be. Pokemon X2 Dirge of Crisis. I have this... Like, I'm definitely not playing Dirge of Cerberus or Crisis Core or any of the other, like, Final Fantasy VII EU games on the channel. I do sort of fear that I'm going to need to actually brush up on the stories of what happened in them, though. Given Final Fantasy VII Remake has enjoyed pulling in elements like, thus far, it's kind of been not all that necessary to know anything about them. But they've definitely been pulling in stuff. You've only played Final Fantasy VII and now it's a whole universe. It's true. It's like, well, the thing is, like, it became a universe relatively fast. Like, Final Fantasy VII comes out on the PS1. By the PS2 era, here's a whole bunch more. Here's Dirge of Cerberus. Here's Crisis Core. Here's several other things. all kind of at once. None of them all that great. And also here's Advent Children. I would be perfectly fine with Remake not acknowledging all these other things that are just worse stories kind of surrounding and cluttering 7. But I worry I am going to need to familiarize at least with plot points again. Animation question, you say? What do you think is an underappreciated technical breakthrough for animation? Sorry if it's a common question. That's a good question, though, I think, actually. Let's see. Underappreciated technical breakthrough for animation. There's definitely, like... There's so much wild, cool stuff kind of in the realm of technical animation that has emerged over the last couple of decades, really. Just because of how many systems are involved in, like, making animations blend together and play back the way you want them to and adapt to different game states or adapt to just whatever the case. Or just technology for, like, making and authoring the things. Like, I don't think most people probably know what motion matching is, but it has really been a major breakthrough for animation of game characters that are more, like, realistic looking in the last 10 years. What am I doing progress-wise in here? I feel like it's either going to be really good when I look at these numbers, and I'll have just absentmindedly been rocking it in this zone, or very disappointing. Yeah, it's kind of more the second thing. That's more what I expected. It was not good. So I should actually explain it. Motion matching is more complicated than I can properly explain, but it is basically like a technology that allows the team to basically... So, like, when you are designing kind of an animation sets for characters in games, you not only have to author all the animations, you also have to author the system that determines how those animations, like, are applied in game. Which ones blend to which ones, under which circumstances, and how long. Like, you have to basically make all of these, like, just kind of like the state machine, the animation state machine for every character, and it can get very, very complicated and complex. Well, we're here again, building those systems out. Like, a simple game like Banjo-Kazooie here, that state machine would be very simple. State machine might not even be the, like, proper term. Like, I know that, like, people would call it, like, the animation blueprint now if you're working in Unreal, but I think that's... Blueprints are kind of Unreal specific. I'm going to just go with state machine and we're going to roll with that. It's basically just like you have to create and design all of the animation logic that says that when there is no input, the, like, Banjo will loop this idle animation. After enough random loops, it will play randomly one of these little fidget things where Kazooie does something, either popping out to look around or poking Banjo in the head or something like that. If the player presses this direction on a stick, but just lightly, then Banjo will do the tiptoe animation, but the more they press it, we start shifting into these other animations, the walk, and then that walk playing a little faster, and then this jog, and then the full speed sort of run. Like, you have to set up all the logic for how these animations blend to and from each other and when each one plays, and with a game like this, pretty simple, not a huge animation list, relatively. Modern games, though, especially high-fidelity ones with characters that they're trying to make feel really naturalistic in how they move, like a Last of Us or something like that, very complicated, thousands of animations and bits and pieces for every walking, strafing, direction, and turn and speed, and just so much. And building out a state machine for all that animation with all those systems in place is complex and just kind of heavy at a certain point. It's just like, it's so many animations that you have to figure out so much logic for. And even if you set all the logic up, making all of that stuff flow together in a way to where it feels responsive to the player and also just looks natural and good is really, really hard. Motion matching is kind of a technology that some folks were developing. I want to say it was getting developed first at Ubisoft. I know that like a senior guy there who was there at the time, Christian Janjuk, was kind of like heading up the development of that technology there at the time. Other folks may have been developing it simultaneously elsewhere, I'm not sure. It basically is a system in which you feed a whole ton of animation data and like specifically motion capture data, and the system figures out which animations to play and blend in order to make the character, like if you move the character around, the system figures out which animations to play and string together to make the character move around properly. So if you feed it, like if it has enough data to work with, it's not all that different from like kind of a lot of the like AI, like art, quote unquote, type stuff, and the way they work of just like taking a whole bunch of resources and pulling a thing together. It is different than that in a lot of ways that I'm not smart enough about it to explain properly, but in a similar way, like if you feed it enough data, it will be able to really convincingly like show characters moving and reacting to different terrain and stimuli in all kinds of ways that would just be so impossibly complicated to pull off manually. It is basically kind of like machine learning for building out animation logic. Yeah, in a way. That's a very like extreme, like that's the best explanation that I've got. And I say you came up with it, and I should I should make an episode about motion matching so I can learn enough about it so I can explain it properly. It's really cool tech, though. It mostly really only works for like motion capture stuff. You can do it on hand animated stuff, but like I don't know if there's as much value there. Like if you've got your motion matching sort of setup working right, you can basically, I'm going to stop running around so I can actually think for a second. You can basically create a dance card. They call it a dance card for your motion capture actor to like, okay, run in this direction to here, turn left and run to this point, then turn right and run to this point, and follow just all these different steps, walking and running at different speeds. Run in a circle to the right that gets tighter and tighter and tighter until you're just basically turning in place. Okay, do that going the other direction. Now do that walking. Now walk in this direction, but turn 135 degrees to your left. Basically put a whole string together that basically contains all the different kinds of turns and run and move speeds that you would want. And then just feed all of that raw data basically into the machine learning system. And if you've built it well, then it will play those animations and movements at the appropriate times when you're moving a character around, and it will actually look naturalistic and kind of right. They actually, so they changed the animation in Fortnite, on Fortnite characters recently. They updated it. I don't know if like how well received that change is, but basically the big change is they're using motion matching now. And so when characters like pivot and change directions, it looks way more naturalistic. It looks way more like how an actual person would do it. And I imagine they put in a lot of time and effort designing that system in a way to where the characters still feel as responsive or almost as responsive as they used to and still handle the same, but the look of their movement looks more convincing. That had to be very hard to fine-tune. With a game that big with that many players, like you really should not be like heavily futzing around with like how it feels to control your character, and switching from not motion matching to motion matching, or like animation, making that switch would almost definitely change how your character feels to control unless you really get in there. And boy, I know just enough to know how hard that probably was. And even I probably don't I know I don't fully understand what all was involved. Animation tech has gotten so complicated in amazing ways. I am not even playing Banjo-Kazooie 2 anymore. No, I'm not even calling it the right name anymore. I should call it a night. I'm failing to explain animation things that I don't know how to explain, even in a good awake brain state, and I'm not playing the game at the same time. Let's start winding down. Goodness gracious. Thank you all so much for joining me. I don't know if I've learned anything about Banjo-Kazooie other than the red eyes above the door thing. I got that locked in now.
Thanks,
My brain remembers that. Forgot the rest. That's okay. At least I'll remember that thing this time. Let's go ahead and roll some credits, though. I still have a handful of folks to thank here. Don't think y'all got away with it. Thank you, Blind Play, for the 15 months. Have you ever had too much cleanup for motion capture work before? To do much cleanup for motion capture work before? Absolutely, yes. I have cleaned up a lot of motion capture data in my time. Or at least I've worked with a lot of motion capture work. I've done some cleanup. There's like... There are like places and like people who specialize in getting motion capture work like cleaned up and refined and polished. I wouldn't say that I'm like incredible at it. I've done a lot of it before, but I think I've probably still got a lot of learning that I could do on process and doing it like faster and getting better results. But yes, I have done a lot of it. Until this year, I was like almost exclusively doing like motion capture stuff for a lot of years, which is fun. Honestly, I've enjoyed getting to do that work, but it's been nice doing some like hand-keyed animation stuff more recently as well, just to shake off the rust, work those muscles again. Thank you for the 5 months and twice. And thank you for those 5 gifted subs right there at the end. Maya Malay, whose name I've said wrong, sorry. But thank you all the same. And thank you for the compliments, Callow. I'm glad my basic movement is good. Basic movement is about all I was pulling off there. Oh, is Dan doing a Hollow Knight randomizer right now? It's a fair point, Callow. Swimming is very jank in Banjo. That's probably why I'm still doing kind of okay at it. I had enough practice that my brain sort of decided that it needed to remember that permanently. Oh, is he about to switch to Lethal Company? Nice. We should go hang out with Dan. But yeah, thank you all for joining me. Sorry it has been a while since I was able to stream. It's been a chaotic month. It hasn't been a lot of good time for it. But hopefully, well, I don't want to promise anything, but hopefully there will be more time for streams in the new year. That's the hope anyway. At the very least, there will be more videos. More Playframe regularly on the regular schedule and New Frame Plus as fast as I'm able to make it. I would really love to get the 2023 animation video done before the year ends this time. Don't know if I'll pull it off. I definitely shouldn't let it take until February like it did that one year. That's much too late. Let's go hang out with Dan. Thank you all again for joining me for this random late night stream. I hope all your holidays are good. I will do some other stream over the holidays, some little German Christmas hangout thing again. That was fun a year or two ago whenever we did that. We should do that again. We'll do that at some point around the Christmas times. But until then, I'll see y'all later. Let's go say hi to Dan.